Welcome to a very sunny Seddon Fields here for the second round of the ISPS Handa men's Premiership game between Waitakere United and the Wellington Phoenix Reserve. Miles Davis commentating for you here. Alongside me, Chris Milicic, who's basically got more than 1 foot in one of the camps here, being the Director of Football for Waitakere. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon, Miles. Yes, no, I'm definitely still the Director of Football at Waitakere and really looking forward to this game.
Here we go, and is that a tactical thing there? You know, just have a crack, try and catch the goalkeeper out. Do you practice that with training?
Well, no, but what it's forced the Wellington Phoenix boys is to start their system of playing, and Waitakere looking to nick the secondary ball. So it's obviously a tactic they want to do. They'd rather have them attack at them instead of having them come the other way.
And Van Rijssel knocking it in there into the middle. He made a couple of good chances last week when the Wellington Phoenix Reserve took on Team Wellington down in Wellington, lost to a late goal, 89th minute goal by Jack Henry Sinclair, but they had 2 goals disallowed, both from crosses.
Yeah, both from crosses, and both were offside. So I'm sure that Paul Temple, the Wellington Phoenix coach, has worked really hard this week on his runs in the middle. Quite often, if you're getting an outcome, you also want to have an end product.
Now we're expecting a pressing game from Waitakere, who had a very comfortable 4-0 away win at Canterbury United in round 1 last week.
Yeah, look, I think that Waitakere last week were the better side. They settled into the game quicker, but a first-up game in Canterbury is always difficult, and I think they want to continue the momentum they had last week.
Yeah, just both sides taking a little bit of time to settle down. Quite a blustery sort of wind here, and one of these surfaces on these artificial ones that sometimes can take a bit of adjusting to. I'd imagine that your side, the Waitakere side, will have a little bit of an edge as far as that goes.
Well, actually, you'd think but no, but we don't actually train on this pitch. We train on the pitch up the top, which is grass. The reason we train up the top is because this club's a very big club, and it's got 7-a-side that runs 3 or 4 days a week. So, yeah, this is a bit new for us. But there's a lot of turf, and a lot of the boys have played on it, so both sides are okay playing on turf.
And Alex Grieve, who made his debut last week, I believe, for Waitakere, scoring a goal.
Yeah, no, he scored a good goal. He's come in. He's an American university lad, and he's come back to New Zealand, obviously, for all sorts of reasons of COVID and all the rest. And he was playing at Birkenhead United, and he's elected to stay until next year. So he was a good signing for us, and he fulfills what we're trying to do here, which is get more and more talented young Kiwis playing. And I think from what's going on in the league, where Waitakere and Wellington Phoenix are the 2 youngest sides in the competition.
Well, a bit dangerous there, playing a bit of football. You don't want to be mucking around back there, young man.
Well, it's the way of the keepers these days, Mild. Everybody thinks they're a bit of a footballer and they try to be footballers. But Alex Paulson in goal for the Wellington Phoenix is actually a very talented goalkeeper in his own right. And so for him, he's still also a very, very good footballer. So I think we're going to get the best of both worlds. He did really well at the Under-17 World Cup last year for New Zealand. So I can see him pushing on to something quite good.
Yeah, an interesting start to the game. As I say, there's people fighting, just testing each other out at the moment. A bit of possession. Do Waitakere like playing this possession game? I know you like to press, but do you like to play one of those things as keep the possession? Offside there, unfortunately. Lovely through ball. It just went a fraction early. Do you like to play the possession game as well?
It definitely is an option. Look, the Waitakere ethos has always been the same, and it's certainly coming more and more what we're trying to do. We look to contain possession until we see the opposition defensive shape starting to make errors, and then we can punish it. Unlike a lot of teams, we are prepared to go over the top if the back players start to make some mistakes in their structural defending, and then we look to...
That was a very powerful challenge. Sorry, Chris, to butt in there. That was a powerful challenge, and a little bit unfortunate, actually. Normally in this league, as we find in the A-League, it's more of a physical nature than a lot of the stuff we see in the professional leagues in Europe, and they normally would have let that one go.
Well, it's a throw-in, so obviously you missed the throw-in. But, yeah, look, I think that there's something going on in New Zealand football at the moment where the referees are allowing a lot of upper body physical challenges, but they're ignoring a lot of the lower challenges. And to me, it's got to be the other way. You've got to start the lower challenges are the big ones, you know, and so we've got to make sure that we're continuing to protect the players, and especially in their lower body or lower limb injuries.
Yeah, they're the ones that can really hurt. I do. Ones at the upper, I mean, shoulder to shoulder is always a great thing. It's again another look to try and release Grieve down that right hand side. But it's the ones where you get the shove in the back that I object to.
Yeah, well, I think everybody objects to it because it causes retaliation, which causes issues.
Thomas Rainbow chasing back there and picking up a free kick.
Quite a clumsy foul, that. And really, you know, as a coach, Paul Temple's going to be deeply unhappy with that because he was going nowhere. And next second, you've run in the back of him, and now this has allowed a lot of the Waitakere players to get into the box. And one thing with younger players like the Phoenix are, their aerial ability to read is still not fully developed, and quite often they can get exploited or exposed by the bigger lads, like this.
Yeah, lovely one through to the far post, not quite there. Ben Old bringing it clear for the Phoenix. That was a little bit of a rustic challenge as well, but he got away with it there, Nathan Lobo. Down that left-hand side.
It is one of the advantage for the young players when they come into a team that's trying to win the competition, very much like Waitakere. You've got to learn to physically get up to it quite quickly. And what we find is if you're in a team full of really young players, they quite often don't do that. They think the game's all about a whole bunch of, you know, keep the ball in possession, which it is. But at the same time, you've got to challenge for possession and look to win it.
Yeah, it's that physical nature, and these are the two youngest sides, I believe, last year, and I think probably again this year, the two youngest sides in the ISPS Handa Premiership. That's a lovely little movement there, starting to move up outside. Grieve down on the right-hand side, he's just knocked it in short, back. Oh, dearie me, Gariga with a shot that was blocked. I like the pace of this game at the moment, though. Both sides looking earnestly to attack. Rainbow through. What a good save.
I think we're going to have a really good game here today, Miles. Both teams are going to try and achieve something and really get going forward. So, you know, to me, the Phoenix are looking to retain possession at the back. But if they can win the ball in one of the strong Waitakere attacks, they're going to look to counter very, very quickly, which is what they did there. And so it's matching up to be a couple of styles that actually will work to give us a really good game.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the actual the intent, shall we say. I've always been a fan of sides that are, when they have the ball, that are willing to give it a go. Oh, ooh. Unlucky.
Just ran away from him on the turf.
Looking dangerous already. Grieve a little bit lively up there. Gariga putting some business in. Obviously, the main driving in the midfield is the skipper, Sam Burfoot, for you.
Yeah, look, Sam's the. Well, everybody in the league knows who Sam is. Sam's probably one of the premier midfielders in the competition. He's very good at retaining possession and releasing. The Waitakere midfield in particular is a difficult one to play against because they actually don't play positional structure. They just keep rotating. They're very good. They're actually a three that, from a coaching point of view, you think, not sure it's going to work, but this just works because the three of them rotate and they've always got someone holding in to attack. And Dane Schnell scored 12 goals last year coming from holding from midfield. So it obviously works in that respect.
You see Lobo down that left-hand side pushing forward at every opportunity. So he's obviously, they're going to be looking to him, I'd imagine, to provide a bit of service for Kilcolly and Grieve in the middle. Yeah,
look, the Phoenix have decided to play two up front, which is great, but you're actually going in against a back three, which means that the Waitakere are always going to have a spare player, and that means the midfields are going to man up, and then it's going to become which one's the better midfield. So it's an interesting clash the coaches have decided to go with.
Rainbow with a chance to whip it in, but he's looking for a
big corner.
Yeah, I thought that may have got a little touch there.
Definitely got a touch there.
Definitely got a final little touch, but anyway, got away with it. We'll take it. Thank you very much.
So look, the Waitakere look like they're going to be playing out from the back. They're going to try and drag the Phoenix onto them, but it'll be interesting. Yeah, the Phoenix aren't really actively engaging in the press until they think they're going to get an opportunity to go. The problem it feeds into is this boy Draper can put the ball long, and yep, here we go. There will be opportunities because, once again, as I said previously, young boys at the back have got to learn to just get up and win the balls they have to win in the air, and it's not just so simple as to think, look, ooh.
Again, just really, really, Alex Paulson. I mean, it's lovely if it comes off, but not not so good on the highlight reel if it doesn't. And I suppose we can blame the likes of Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp for getting goalkeepers that have not only got to be able to save things, but they've got to pinpoint a pass for 50
But they're
yards.
worth 80 million quid, mate.
Yeah. You can't win anything without a decent goalkeeper, though.
No, I think there's many teams that have not have had really good outfield players and ended up losing because the goalkeepers, they've got to win you games, and they've got to win you a lot of games.
How have you found with this young Waitakere side the physical nature of it, of other older players trying to intimidate? And that's a lovely flick there, Kilcolly having a strike and being intimidated by older, more experienced players.
Well, I think there's enough experience through the squad. And look, when we say they're young players, these are all players that, by right, play in the Northern Premier League every week. So they're used to playing against men. They're being picked because we believe they can make the step up. And they're definitely doing what we want them to do, because it's like anything. Once you get to a level and you've got to learn the physicality, once you learn the physicality, you never lose it. So we've not been bullied. We can get bullied. You can obviously get bullied. But the league itself doesn't have the old, Stuart Pearce's type players anymore. They're just not there.
There's no Vinnie Joneses floating
around.
or
a Paul Seaman that will actually cause you absolutely physical harm. They're not in the league anymore. So that physicality is not so important. You've got to have it, but it's not vital.
There's another chance for a break here. Oh, really should have been looking for the early ball there, I would have thought. But anyway, what do I know? Murati down the right-hand side, pushing up from the right-hand side of midfield. Just thought there was an opportunity there for an early through ball.
Yeah, I think there was, but Regon Murati down this right-hand side and both Lobo, they're both extremely quick and they can beat players on the outside. And the coaches have probably seen the ability to exploit some spaces outside that would then allow them to get some goal-scoring opportunities. But that one could have gone forward and made the ball go forward, and so the players were still moving forward with the momentum required to create a goal-scoring opportunity like this.
Oh, Garriga now. We're going to be generous to him and say that was a cross. He if it had gone in, he would have claimed it as a shot. But again, it's quite interesting that Waitakere seeming to have just a little bit of an edge at the moment. I mean, it's going by the way, but the Phoenix have created the better chances.
Yeah.
I mean, Draper's had to actually come out and make some saves, and the nearest Paulson has got is when he's nearly given it away himself.
So the problem you got when you're starting to press aside is they can counter, and they can, like now, they can cause your opportunities, and they've got a mismatch here unless somebody picks up the middle. So you've got to be careful. Just because you're dominant on the pitch and dominant with the ball, you'll be very careful you don't overrun your attack lines. And once you don't overrun your attack lines, players can just counter you without any sort of pressure coming on the ball. And it's a big issue, and now it's vice versa.
And here we go again. There's a lovely chance. He needs to play the through ball here now. Grieve is going on his own. Oh, lucky. Now, was there a touch on Paulson? Yes, there was.
Paulson's a very good young goalkeeper, and the Waitakere itself to score goals they're going to be good goals. We've probably got, I believe that Nick Draper's probably in the top two keepers in the league, and Paulson's a young one that's going to go a long way. So, it's going to be tight. People are going to score goals. It's going to be good goals.
You think he should have played a through ball then?
No, Greasy's never going to play that through ball. He's going to have a go at himself, and you can't blame him. That's what he's here for.
I mean, he scored on his debut last week. He's a young, exciting talent.
He got the shot away. He did what he needed to do.
Oh, dearie me. That was a sort of a half clearance from Paulson, which nearly ended up coming back with interest. And Van Hattem, who's deep, now picking the ball up for the Phoenix.
So let's see what the Phoenix can do if Waitakere set off them like they are right now and what they're sort of playing.
And Van Rijssel back. And here we go. Paulson again playing outside his area. He's obviously been watching the likes of Edison playing there. And it'd be interesting to see whether he gets caught out later on.
Well, they generally don't get caught.
And that you can just see that on this surface occasionally, because they've got those rubber pellets, there is the odd bobble that can catch you out.
Yeah, well, you quite often see it when people are shooting on the turf. They go to shoot and it flies over top of them and goes, well, that's a bad shot. And then you slow it down. You just see it take a little 2 or 3 inch bobble before they hit it, which totally confuses the line their foot's going through the ball. So you do have to be very careful on the turf with any ball that bounces.
This surface here, I mean, I've seen quite a few of them around. They're not all like this, though, are they, with the black rubber pellets to this degree?
No. So some of them have cork, and they're deemed better. I'm not sure they are better, but they're deemed with cork. They probably have less heat coming at them. The problem with that, though, is they can harden up. You know, the cork can harden up and it becomes difficult. It just depends how much black stuff you chuck on it and how much often you rake it to keep the grass up. You keep the grass up, the black stuff drops through it.
And I suppose also the fact you're playing so many games here. And that's a good interception there. And Waitakere now with a chance of a quick break. Oh, lovely control from the outside of the foot from Grieve. Kilcolly laying it back. And out to Lobo wide on the left-hand side for Waitakere. A bit of possession now. They've lost their way a little bit here, I've got to say, Waitakere. And Phoenix are looking very dangerous on the break.
Well, the Phoenix are rapid, they're strong, they know what they're trying to achieve. I mean, it's a foul. So the Waitakere have got to start finishing the moves. As a coach, when you're starting to drive teams forward, you've got to get shots away and corners and all sorts of things to keep the momentum going.
Van Rysel having a discussion about what to do. Not really sure that was the best use of that particular free kick, but as long as they keep the possession.
Well, it's interesting they didn't take the opportunity at this part of the game where they've been under quite a bit of pressure not to put the ball in the box to sort of see if they can guess something out of something.
Now this Nika there on that right-hand side, he's meant to be playing right back, but it's already a couple of times I've seen him, he looks quite like he's got decent feet, and he's quite happy to have a go.
Well, he is quite happy to go in it, but it is difficult for fullbacks when you're playing against a 3-5-2 and you've got wide wing backs that are sitting on the touchline, and a back four needs the fullbacks to tuck in. So quite often you can't get out wide where you need to be, so you tend to play inside, and he's doing a lot of that. But his strength, he's quick, he's strong on the ball, he can run. I wonder if we'll see some change there with the fullbacks, because the Phoenix generally like to get their fullbacks forward, and at the moment they're barely able to get themselves forward to attack.
Crom with the ball down the line. Yeah, nice idea, but wasn't really read by Kilcolly, the little flick from Grieve.
Well, second game together, and it takes time to sort those things out.
And I think we'll find that with both, with every side actually, in all 8 sides. That early on in the season, lack of big pre-season, it's going to take a bit of time for them to actually get into full speed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the season was, pre-season's so short. A lot of people never got the opportunity. I mean, Waitakere only played 2 games. I think everyone played 2 games, and you're looking for between 4 to 5 games in your pre-season. So these are like pre-season games in reality.
Yeah, unfortunately, the price of losing is a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you were giving me raps before the game on Sammy Khan. You rate him as a prospect.
I do rate him. He's got a strength of that's really rare, which is called a left foot that he can use really, really well, and he's got pace. He was, if I remember right, he was Central United's Player of the Year last year. He was with us last year, and he didn't play a lot of games. But when we looked to say, well, we need to desperately fix our back three with a little bit more pace, he was just like an automatic, yeah, we'll have a look at him.
Reggie Morandi moving forward, quite an easy one for Paulson there, and trying to get Toomey away for a quick counter-attack, but that seems to have been stymied a little bit, a lack of real options in front of him.
The thing is, I think for the Wellington Phoenix lads, they're quite used to having a lot of possession, bossing it, and sort of moving the ball around a little bit with the ball. And each week they come up against a coach or an entity or a franchise that tries to do something different. So they're always facing a different answer they've got to find, with the principle of the fact that they're still young players, so they don't have that vast array of knowledge and experience that will allow them to answer it quickly. And they've got a bit of a problem today, and they've got to answer it because they're up against a midfield that's really snappy, really quick, and will win balls when they have to, just like that.
Now tell me a bit about Garriga. the Spaniard you've got in your midfield.
So
or Garriga Gibert,
yeah,
which sounds like a French singer, but anyway.
So he's a mate of Albert Rier out of the Phoenix and Auckland City. He came out to New Zealand and he was playing for Western Springs. And a couple of years ago we had a look at him, but we had issues back then with imports. And so I think I'll talk at the end of this.
Yep, it looks like a bit of pressure. Was that Dino Bodica, I think, going down that side. And Kilcolly's screaming for it on the far post. And yeah, it's a pity. It sort of petered out, really, there. You need more players in the area, but it looks like you managed to, Waitakere, I say you because that's your side, have managed to sneak a corner out of it somehow. But they got a little bit lost there. But to be fair to them, this is a surface that can bobble, and the breeze is gusting.
The breeze is gusting,
you can see for some of those core flutes over there behind the goal that it could be quite strong.
So this is about the fourth corner we've had. And once again, they've got to deal with them better than this, the Phoenix lads.
That was a decent clearance though, that time from Paulson under a lot of pressure.
He's done really well there, brilliantly.
Now, from memory, didn't he play at the World Cup under 17s?
He did play at the under 17s. Yeah. In my opinion, he's probably the best of the young goalkeepers currently in New Zealand. He's developing himself really, really well, and he's now getting international experience. So he should be well in the mix for the under 20s. If the World Cup goes ahead, nobody knows what's going on, but he should be well in the mix for that.
Here come the Phoenix now trying to create something down their left-hand side.
Not a silly foul, but unless the Phoenix are prepared to pin Waitakere back, these fouls aren't going to hurt them. They're just going to keep rolling the ball around, and Waitakere will be quite okay with that. So that's what I said previously. Wellington Phoenix got to be prepared to put a ball in the box to say, yes, we are prepared to do that. Don't just give us cheap fouls, because that's just a cheap foul. And so let's see what they do this time.
Well, I mean, just visually looking at it, it looks like the back three for Waitakere have probably got the edge physically. But having said that, Van Atten's probably got probably a couple of inches on Khan at the far post there. So maybe if they can dink one in deep. But again, they've just an expression my mother used to do, faffed around with it, and it's another waste.
Well, they're looking to keep possession, and I often think that the Phoenix should be at risk, like every other club in this league, to win games. Because when you do that, you've got to do the right thing, and the right thing to win, and whether that's, I'm not suggesting that you whack every free kick into the box. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you've got to tell the opposition, if you give away cheap fouls, we are going to be prepared to launch it in your box and create goal-scoring opportunities straight away. Oh, that's a good run.
That's a fantastic ball there. A great chance and a bomb. Yeah. What a great finish.
What a goal.
What a great finish from Grieve. And I've got to say, Chris, he's been the most dangerous looking player on the park for me. His energy levels, he's ran all over the place, and that was a superb ball from the back, where you said if they push up they see the opportunity.
It was definitely, Sammy Khan's got the ball, he's put it through. Greaves had already made the run because he knew, and he's just taken his time to let the ball sit down, and then he's just tucked it away. It's a great goal, but it comes back to what we were saying before. The back two of Wellington Phoenix have got to be prepared to attack the ball in the air. If you let it bounce on the turf with runners, mistakes happen and goals come.
Yeah, I've got to say, this is the first time I've seen this young Alex Grieve, apart from a couple of clips of highlights last week, and I'm very impressed with him.
Well, he came out of Sacred Heart. He was with Danny Hay at Sacred Heart for a few years. And
there's about 10 of them on this pitch, I think, from Sacred Heart. Probably, I think there might even be some in the Phoenix side from Sacred Heart as well.
So Grieve's one of those lads. And look, they work hard. Look at the pressure coming now. They got away with it, but you only need to win it once or twice to get a couple of goals. So I can see exactly what Paul Hobson's doing, and everybody from the back stepping in on any flat ball. So
a great interception there from Bodica, has pushed it up, and he's carried on with his run. Muradi's not interested in dinking it in yet. Burfoot, who I think needs to get on the ball a little bit more. Oof. Yeah, not the best
ball with a centre back sitting in the box. He wants you to stick it in the air and let him attack it. So it'll be interesting to see the change of the Phoenix and whether they can make the changes required. They're going to have to start playing a little bit shorter, trying to play in and around the box so that these straight balls don't just simply get cut out like they are at the moment.
A great turn again there. Lovely link up between Kilcolly and Grieve. Not quite getting it through to Dane Schnell. who you mentioned before, scores goals.
Scores goals. You know, he works really hard. He's another young Kiwi. He went away with the under-20s, did really well at the World Cup. He's one of those guys. And he's just coming on leaps and bounds, you know, and everyone sort of told us that he's a holding centre mid, and the coaches here, Paul Hobson and Malcolm, decided that we're going to give him a go as attacking centre mid, and lo and behold, get 12 goals, leading goal scorer of the club last year, and should get something similar this week. When he got off last week, he's got a goal last week, so he's already on the board.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating here. Nika really looks like he likes playing. He's like a fullback who wishes he was an attacking midfielder by the look of him.
Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration starting to come in the shoulders of the two Wellington Phoenix boys up front. They're just chasing the ball and not getting too many responses, and all they're having to do is chase balls, and they're not going to be happy with this.
And whereas you look at Crom to me looks more like a real solid. He knows what his duties are, and he's willing to get stuck in and do the job there at the back.
Well, he did really well last year. He was playing at Southern United, and I think he was playing right back there. But he scored a bunch of goals, and he lives in Auckland, so you kind of go, oh, well, let's have a look at him. So Paul and them have decided that he's one of the ones they want of the three, and yeah, he's a big lad. He's good in the air, and he can do. He can do everything required, and nothing soft about him, you know.
Oh, there, I think Rainbow's taken or Rambo, pronounce it anyway. Here's a get. Oh, no, comfortable save in the end.
Yeah, that was one he should have played through to Kulkoli as he made that run through the channel. He would have picked it up and have been one-on-one with the keeper. But you can see that he is a good player, Greaves, and I think he's got an opportunity. He is going back to America, from what I understand, and there's a lot of clubs in America interested in when he finishes his career. So for New Zealand people, they're having a look.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful already for having a look. I find him an exciting player, so I should be following his career for one. Yeah, but that Rainbow, whichever way, is sort of a Canadian. I think his parents moved to Canada.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure he's with the youth squad at Vancouver Whitecaps. But
right.
He took a bit of a knock there down on the side, so in his ribs. He seems to be running it off now, though.
Yeah, I'd like to see the boys in the Wellington Phoenix just go for it. You know, they seem to be playing quite within themselves. Just go for it. You know, and last week they were very, very good at running at Team Wellington and creating opportunities and moving the ball, and just go for it.
Here's another chance for a bit of a break, but just not quite picked it up. And Sammy Khan knocking it out to Nathan Lobo.
So from what we're seeing so far, I mean, we've been going for 27 minutes now. Waitakere are kind of in the ascendancy, but I think they're going to want another goal before as the ascendancy keeps going, because there is a lot of work to keep winning the ball like this. So you probably want to get a bit of a cushion for yourselves.
Yeah, I think Waitakere seem to be winning the physical challenges now, though. They're imposing themselves on the game.
Well, yeah, which is rather surprising considering that football basically stopped in Auckland for most of the year. A lot of these boys haven't played a lot, whereas the Wellington lads have all been playing for quite a while. You know, so you would expect it to be the other way, but that's a good ball.
Oh, that's a fantastic ball. Greaves away again, and
no,
dearie, wow. As commentators, are we allowed to say that was never offside? Are we allowed to?
Well, we're not in line miles. It's very difficult to tell.
No, it is very in line, but I'll tell you what, it looked very, very close.
It was a great move, put it that way.
It was a great ball from Kilcolly through for Grieve again. And who knows? I mean, you'd have backed him to put that one away.
Oh, a bit of a mismatch here. Sam's not known for his extreme pace.
Yeah, Rainbow's in the middle. Oh, dearie me. I don't know if that was just behind Riley Bidois there, who very unlucky last week. Here we go. Let's have a look on this.
Oh, he's off. He is off. He never got back on.
Yeah, he never got back on. So we apologise, Mr. Linesman. Oh, sorry, assistant referee.
Yeah, he just never got him side. So you've gone offside. You've got to get back on side before you go again and engage.
And that's very hard, isn't it? Because your momentum's, and you don't want to throw your momentum too far back because you want to get that acceleration to get away from the defence.
And you're always risking. You always want to be right on the edge risking it, because without that, you know.
And especially with no VAR, you want to test the linesman's eyesight.
I'm not a big fan of VAR, Miles.
No, neither am I. Let's not start on that, or we'll still be arguing or abusing it by the end of the game.
So there's just, you see, the difference between the two sides is the ball speed for Waitakere is quicker. The Phoenix are trying to play through, expecting a bit of respect, and their ball speed is not actually causing any issue to the structural shape of the Waitakere team. And so that's going to have to be fixed up.
Another good interception
Well,
from Adam
here's a chance. They've got a 3v2, and what can they do?
I
Thought that was a foul, personally.
I personally thought that was a foul as well, but the referee's made a decision. We've got to move on with it. They're a little bit unlucky there because had that come through, as you said, they did have players spare, so could have created something and caused Nick Draper a bit of problems in goal.
And that's experience, that's knowledge and experience. You do the numberings as you're running forward and you say, we've got to go for this. We've got an extra player or two. We've got to go for this and risk everything. Whereas I think when you're in a team that says, no, we're just going to keep possession no matter what, you don't get the opportunities there. It's great for their development. Don't get me wrong. I think what the Phoenix is doing with these young kids is great. It's great for their development. They're trying to produce players.
Here's an opportunity. Got to get it in. Grieve hanging back this time. Normally he's right in there. But again, I know I'm going on about him, but he's all over the place. He's dropping deep. He's helping out. He's making runs forward. He's closing down.
He's clever, mate. He is just a clever footballer.
Here we go. There's a chance now. Gariga. Back to Crom.
So when Waitakere decide they're going in, they're punching it in. They're trusting each other with the ball speed. And it makes a big difference. As a player, you want the ball coming in because it's actually easier to control a very quickly or hard-hitting ball as compared to something soft, which means you've got to provide more of a cushion than if the ball's coming in like a bullet, you just turn on it.
Just seems to be a slight edge now. Well, that's a bit naughty.
Yep.
I picked up that time. I don't think there's any dispute about that. And Khan goes straight away to give his apologies. And this happens. It's a physical contact game, football.
The ball sits there and you think you can win it and you throw your foot out and suddenly you go, oh, I've made a mistake, and you can't pull your foot back because you can't fall over.
And isn't it, the vast majority of the players in here, there are the odd exceptions. It's refreshing to see players just shake hand, get on with it.
Yeah, look, you and I both know that in the international game or in the professional game, players spend a lot of time just on the deck and pretending all sorts of things, and it doesn't happen here. And I think that's one of the most refreshing things about football in this country. People just don't do that.
They're losing possession. They're not retaining possession in the key areas. That final ball's not finding the player for the Phoenix, and it must be getting quite frustrating for them. I think Paul Temple's going to have to have a few words with them at half time, maybe even change it up, change the personnel.
Well, he's sort of changed it now. If you have a look, there's a back four, and now he's got a holding two, and he's gone with a front four. He's going to try and stop the supply ball out wide, thinking that's the way to do it. So his changes go 4-2-4. With the two wider midfielders now playing more probably as wingers. So it'll be really interesting. So Waitakere have won the first chess battle by making the opposition team change their shape because they're getting run.
Yeah, that's a good observation there. And will it work for them? It may well work for them.
It should do, because now it should limit the attack range of the Waitakere players as they come to support.
Well, Toomey's won the ball there as a little bit of a loose bit of control there in the middle from Dane Schnell, but again, nothing constructive coming in from the Phoenix.
Well, what they're going to do now, I'm not sure you can see it now. We can see it now on the footage. There's a lot more Phoenix players prepared to say, well, we're not going to let you play through us. It is risky, because what it means is if Dane Schnell can get the ball either played through the line or over the line, they're going to run out of players to block the runs. But it is worth doing to see if it can sort of stop what's going on. Oh,
that was well won there. And Kilcolly picked it up, couldn't quite release it. But a lovely ball. 1-2 with Kilcolly and Grieve. And now you've got plenty of time here. Can he deliver something? Oh, beautifully on the outside.
With a punt. Boy, put his foot out, could have gone down.
But again, the two of them there on the break, they're a little bit isolated. Those four midfielders sat deep, but Rainbow.
Oh, here we go.
Now's knocked it away.
Now's an opportunity.
Here we go.
He's got to get it shot away. Goal.
Oh, dearie me.
Dearie me.
Own
goal.
That shot would have been going halfway between that far post and the corner flag.
Yep.
And Sammy Khan's come in and with one of the best finishes you'll ever see. Unfortunately, it's at at the wrong end.
Just a lack of communication back there.
Have a look at the replay here. But as you're saying, that was a chance there. You expected him to come inside and get a shot away. I mean, that's going so wide.
It's going nowhere, and you conceded a goal that he'll be gutted for. And the team will be gutted because, they've been quite a dominant side in the first 34 minutes, and, that's miles wide.
Own goal of 34 minutes.
Yeah, it happens.
That's a frustration there, but it's got them right back into the game, and perhaps, and here we go, Grieve again. Oh, dearie me. I think Rodwell was a little bit lucky there that he didn't repay the favour straight away. But that's I mean,
it's harsh, mate.
It is harsh. You're back there, you're trying to help out, but he won't be happy with himself for that.
It happens, it does happen. There's nothing you can do better.
Yeah, Snell now knocking it wide to Marathi.
So it would be fair to say the Phoenix are really corner. It would be really to say that the Phoenix are struggling to cope with the width of Waitakere.
Yeah, very much so.
And part of the four up front they're trying to do is stop the delivery to the wing-backs. But if Paul Hobson and Malcolm said, what they'll do is they get their wing-backs to drop inside, and they just play through the four, and then suddenly it's a mismatch with numbers. You've got a three at the back and you play through a four. So, it's interesting. Paul's taking the risk, but he's got a goal out of it. So,
he'll be ecstatic, I think, with the way the game's gone so far to get that out almost out of nowhere. That's a poor corner. Again, but that breeze just makes it tough. Another chance here now. I know. Crom's back here covering it. I'll go back to Draper. We'll have a bit of time.
Good header, good clearing header. First one they've done that you think, well, that's the right thing.
And then look at that, what a waste there from Bidouard, just knocking it to someone who supposedly was out wide, but there was no one there.
But it just shows you that's the point of the Phoenix being in the league, to get these young players up to being able to play and make the right decisions. The questions still remain, are the best young players here? There's lots of doubts that the best young players in the country are actually at the Phoenix, but at least it's something, and we're trying to develop these players. But we need more of the sings of the game here instead of what we've got.
Yep. Oh, Lobo there getting pulled back a little bit, but I think the referee's letting it play on. Oh, and just not quite. Here we go, Garriga knocks it wide, Marathi.
He'll take him on.
See, he just made a liar of you there.
Maybe.
Here we go. Now, come on, let's drive it across, Garriga. Let's have a look. Someone at the far post. Oh, dear.
Another good cross. I think of the coaches right now, the Waitakere coach would be much happier of the two groups, though Paul Temple will be extremely ecstatic that the team's got themselves back into the game.
Yeah, I'd have to say that Waitakere have had the edge throughout the game and have looked more structured, or looked more like the things are going according to plan for them. Oh, dearie me. That could have been one of those gems again that ends up off the old backside in the back of the net. So they really are playing with fire at the back, and I wouldn't mind betting, if they carry on like that for the rest of the game, wouldn't mind betting the Waitakere get a goal from it.
Dane Schnell seems to have collected one from the goalkeeper, and he's feeling it a little bit.
I think it was on his left cheek, but,
yes.
But that can be painful as well.
Especially with these balls that got ridges on them. You're not getting hit with a flat ball, you're getting hit with this ridge.
You're not a fan of the ball, are you?
Well, I do like the ball. I do think you can play with it, but I just wouldn't like to get hit by it.
That doesn't remind me of the Milicic that we used to know and love, mate. He wasn't frightened of anything. Now he's frightened of a couple of ridges on a ball.
Well, yeah, good point.
That's a good quick throw there. Kilcolly awake to it. Oh, got to be a chance here. First time. Oh, another great save there. Ooh, 3 saves on the trot there from Paulson. You could have probably, I think Greaves he just couldn't get the ball away from under his feet.
No.
To get the first rebound away.
It is quite difficult on the turf when you're trying to get that ball down. If it happens to hit something and it bounces up, you then have to take the second touch, or it takes a little bit longer. And so quite often players all prefer playing on grass. Let's not kid ourselves. But in Auckland with the drought, it's very difficult to find a pitch with grass.
Most frustrating thing about it during the season was seeing I coached kids at Takapuna, I've done for the last 14 years, and best condition I've ever seen either, especially the number 2, at Taharoto, and weren't allowed to play on it.
Yeah. There was no games going on. It was, great. Winter was just brilliant. And then you go, and now we come to summer and they're all just beaten up. And you don't know how they're beaten up. They're just being burnt by the sun. So the Waitakere are prepared to chase anything at the back and just say we're going to basically think that our midfielder can nick a fair share of ball in the middle, and we're going to look to counter you through the middle. So, well done.
Yeah, that was a nice idea. It's finally ended up where he intended, but via a deflection there, Curtis Mogg.
Well, what it will do is it'll put Waitakere off their plan of setting up and nicking those balls into midfield. If you're prepared to put one through and beyond them sometimes, they're going to have to turn. So you make them a little bit more wary. But if you keep it so they can just keep stepping forward like this.
Come in here.
Oh, he should have scored that. That's got to go over the top of the keeper or played in. But it just shows you, as I was just saying, they're stepping in and they're winning those balls in the midfield.
Garriga there, very frustrated with Grieve there. He made a great run. Just waiting for the chance. And in fact, I think had the ball been played through, he probably would have had an empty net because Paulson was already committed this side.
Totally.
To me.
See, they can get the advantages. Now, he's got to finish this off.
Oh, that was only a millimetre away there, Van Rysel.
Yeah, so that's it. Finish it off.
And I believe they've
got a corner
out of it.
You know, so he stood on the front foot. He's decided he's going to have a crack, whether it's a cross or a shot, that only he'll know. But they've got something out of it, and that's, you get the opportunity. You've got to let it go, and he's done really well there.
Yeah, they're very unlucky.
So that's the beauty of football. You only need one or two chances and stick them in the net, regardless of how good or how bad you play.
Here we go now with only 5 minutes or 4 minutes left, plus referee's time in the first half here. Waitakere United 1. Oh, well picked up by Draper. No dangers there. So, Wellington Phoenix 1.
So he's he's an ex-pro out of the UK. Came out to play for Papakura. And, we had one good look at him. We just went, well, that's a keeper, because he plays like an English keeper. He comes for stuff. He's good with his feet. He talks quite a bit, and he's had a great time here. I think he's going back to the UK at the end of the season, but, whilst he's been here, he's been brilliant for us. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, Van Rysel, that's he's managed to recover well there.
Yeah.
Dino Boddicker recovering well after mucking it up. It's gone flying straight through there, back into his dugout.
Yeah, I think the technical range between the two teams is pretty even, but in the National League, because it is the National League, we have a whole bunch of players that are technically very, very good on a New Zealand stage, and so with teams who are prepared to play, they can play, but they're hard. If you're going to come and close them down, the New Zealand player is now comfortable enough on the ball to beat you and then pass it.
And here's that, again, that long ball there from Sammy Khan trying to atone for his own goal earlier on.
Well, he set up a goal and he's conceded a goal, so he's having a great day today.
Lobo having a little run down that left-hand side. And he's got well past them. A little bit bobbly there.
He certainly got pace. Both the wing-backs got pace, and we saw it there. Probably a mismatch in pace for both. The Phoenix defenders aren't as quick as the outside players for Waitakere, and it'll be really interesting to see the changes at half-time and how coaches can exploit that.
And Kilcolly's got round the other side of him now, first time. Oh dear, Burfoot won't be a good foot though. A good foot in there to stop it, but. I don't know about you, but it looked like he almost set up to try and side foot that. I would have liked to see him just put his laces through it.
Sammy doesn't tend to lace anything. He side foot stuff in top corners. It's quite weird. He's a very good player.
No, I've seen him play a few times and I've been impressed with him. But that one there, I just felt a bit of welly was called for.
Yeah, you would have thought so, but it was a good setup, So it creates the difference, I think, between the two teams. Waitakere attack, get a corner, get a free kick, get a shot away. The Phoenix have probably had maybe not as many attacks, but the outcome from the Phoenix is far lower, and I think that's what we're seeing within the game.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Looks old Chris Nyker looks like he's still on a one-man mission to burn up that right-hand side
Well,
for the Phoenix.
it gets frustrating as a player when you want to play and you're barely getting any ball, and teams are just doing what they like, and and once again Draper will bypass the 4. There you go, straight away, and they didn't quite get away with it, but he bypassed the 4 with a simple pass. So you got to be careful.
This is the one. Now, see, that's where he needed to let that one go. I appreciate he's done it well, and they've retained possession. But there was a great chance there to set Van Hatten free.
But it also goes against what the Waitakere are trying to do to the Phoenix. So every time you play the ball back as a Wellington Phoenix player, you're inviting Waitakere to keep stepping where they're getting some success. So they're going to have to start playing through into channels and into, that's better, play into the feet now. He's got to play, there you go, simple.
But again,
not quite the quality, but it was the idea.
But you had so much space down there, and you've hit it with your left foot. That should be staying in.
Yeah. And so, the difference is I think Waitakere are playing through the lines and hitting feet, and they're not trying to play in front of the opposition lines. They're just saying, we're going to play through you guys, and they're doing it. Here we go. He's about to play through. That's a bit of a launch, though. That's not quite what I was talking about.
Grieve was just looking for a flick there for Kilcolly.
Yeah.
A bit of objection down below us, but...
Well, they do apply for things that aren't even close to being fouls.
I know. I was wondering what it was. I said maybe they saw the grandmother on the other side and were just shouting for her attention. There's a little shove there, but Garriga's got through. Almost made it to the far post. Again, Grieve challenging in there, winning it. Marati's got Garriga outside. Oh, no. Yeah, Garriga outside and whips it in.
Oof.
Oh,
great ball. So that's the difference. You see, that's a team that's got a ball out wide and we're putting a cross in. We're going to see what's happened. Whereas one team's trying to set it up. The other one's actually saying we're going to get outcomes from this.
And a great run from Burfoot there to get himself into that 6-yard box and,
that's right.
and create that pressure.
That's right.
Again, a poor clearance. They could be in trouble here. Yeah, they're starting to look a little bit panicky. The Phoenix, they're snatching the ball. They don't look as comfortable on the ball at the moment as Waitakere do. And there's, after a minute of referees' time, half-time here in the ISPS Handa men's Premiership second-round game between Waitakere United and the Wellington Phoenix. 1-1 at half-time with Alex Grieve getting his second goal of the season in only his second game for the senior side here, putting the Waitakere ahead, and then a magnificent own goal by Sammy Khan, as good as you'll ever see. And I do feel sorry for him, but he will add to our highlight reel. 1-1 between Waitakere United and the Wellington Phoenix. So your thoughts on that first half, Liz?
I think what we've talked through during the feed is what we've seen. One team's trying to press and really try to counter-attack quickly, and the other team's trying to play their way through, but it's getting caught. So there'll be a few changes at half-time, probably in structure, and we'll see what happens.
Chartered Accountants, Auckland City BMW. Everyone's welcome upstairs in the club rooms. The bar and kitchen are open. One shout-out from an email from the Gold Coast from Tony and Joe. It's happy birthday for Ron.
You've got it.
Yeah.
Well done. Remember, put the fader up.
Maybe when we start, so we'll go in 1 minute.
Welcome back to Seddon Fields here in Western Springs in Auckland for the second half of the ISPS Handa men's premiership game between the Waitakere United and the Wellington Phoenix Reserves. 1-1 at half time. Alex Grieve giving the home side the lead. Wellington Phoenix equalising by a virtue of a Sammy Khan spectacular own goal. With me in the commentary, Chris Milicic, Director of Football at Waitakere, who's you've been rather critical, I've noticed in that first half, of the Wellington Phoenix, certain aspects of what they're trying to achieve and the way they're playing, Chris.
Well, not critical. I think that's a little, maybe it comes across critical, but I want to see the best young players, or some of the best young players in the country, learning how to win games of football. They're all capable of keeping the ball and moving the ball, but there are certain actions that occur within a football field which have to happen. If you've got a numerical superiority when you're in attack, you must maximise that, and those sorts of things. And so I'm more critical about that. I would never be critical about the player's ability, because it obviously stands for itself. But I would like to see a more emphasis on trying to win and attacking the ball. They could easily win. They've got the win behind them now, and the coaches have got them in and settled them down. But yeah, very interesting to see the changes in the second half.
And here we go again. We're seeing that play with Paulson and Rodwell playing the old 1-2s with them. Oh, a strong bit of defending there from Sammy Khan. Noticeable that the back three that Waitakere are playing reasonably comfortable in that first half. Lewis Toomey winning. Looked like he won a side, a throw down this side. Referee Ben O'Connell and our linesman, assistant referees, whatever you want to like to call them. I'm old school. Reza Al-Rabia and Torres Chang.
Oh, he's getting a free kick for that.
And he took that. I'm not even sure that ball was in when he took it, but let's carry on.
That was a weird thing. So going back to the back three of Waitakere, last year I think we conceded an awful lot of goals.
I think it was 32. And in fact, I think there was only a difference, although you finished third and Wellington Phoenix finished 8th. You won 8 games, they only won 4. You conceded just 3 goals less than they did, so you obviously had some issues at the back.
Oh, we did have some issues. We got beat quite easily by Auckland City 6-2 out here. And so what we decided to do was, 1, we needed to speed up at the back, and 2, we needed to put in some players that were prepared to be give us the chance to win games. We knew we were confident in the keeper, and as you can see, the boy Luke Seal and Sammy Khan have been retained from the 6 we had last year, and the coaches decided that we would back that up with the boy Crom, and there's another couple of young ones, and we're happy with what's happening. It'll be interesting to see whether we've got it right or wrong. As coaches, you make decisions and you just hope you're going to be right or wrong, and I think that Paul and Malcolm and Dan Cook have made a lot of really good calls on who they'd like to bring in, and then it's up to the club and myself to sign them.
And all looks like the first card of the game coming out now.
It'll be interesting now. Now Waitakere are attacking into the wind. These set pieces, the corners and free kicks that they're winning are going to hold up a little bit more. So that's going to cause Alec Paulson to come out a little bit further. So it'll be interesting to see what any response there is with this sort of condition.
And I think that was Jane Rodwell that got booked there. That was just an accidental
Yes.
falling over there.
Yes.
The coming together of two moving bodies.
Yes. Well, I actually think that Jalen giving away a free kick there, it's not a bad thing. It's got to have a sign or a sign of intent that we're here to win and we're here to play. And look, don't get me wrong, the Phoenix could easily win this game. Game of football at 1-1, anything can happen. A mistake, and so we just got to see. So both teams are actually sitting where they want to be and they want to do more.
And Lobo dancing his way into the area there. Can't quite
great
get away.
save.
Dane Snell couldn't quite poke it inside that near post.
A great turn. He's received it on his front foot here. Lobo's done really well here. This is the difference. He's got the ball. He's surrounded by three, and he's going, I'm going to have a go at them. And he's had a go at them, and now he's whipped the ball, and Dane's taken a touch and hit it, and a great save by Alex Paulson.
Yeah, very good save. But again, that willingness of your wide players at Waitakere to attack, and they're very effective at it as well, with Marathi down the other side as well.
Good defending header. But that's finished the move. I know a lot of people go, oh, it's wasted and things, but it's finished the move, and then Waitakere get the chance to sit back and say to the Phoenix, well, you play through us. So the set piece or the ability to create an outcome means you're continually putting pressure on the opposition player, even if they're in possession. And that's what I'm sort of saying when I was critical of the Phoenix. They've got to be a little bit more like that, because if you want to be a professional footballer and you don't take the chance to have a shot, you may not find yourself being a professional footballer anymore. And so surely the whole point of the Phoenix and the young lads is to turn them into professional footballers.
And here again, Lobo winning the ball and Grieve having a little run at him. Oh, he's carried on. That was a great bit of defending there from Rodwell, because they were exposed. Oof. And it's interesting that you mentioned about Rodwell at least having a go, but he had to have a go because they keep this faffing around at the back between him and Paulson. It's going to cost them. You can't keep mucking around like that and playing with fire.
Well, you've got to make the choice based on the game you're playing.
Here's Burfoot.
And Burfoot could hit the deck here. No. So, I agree. But you've got to try and win the game. And so, look, they've got the opportunity now. If they shift the ball now, he's got to go. They've got the numerical superiority now, and this is the difference.
That's a lovely little
Keep
run.
Going.
Yeah, knock it wide. Come on, son. There we go. And
totally different. Totally different from what we saw in the first half.
He's a bit of a string bean, old Toomey out here, isn't he? There's not much to him.
No, there isn't much to him.
And Garriga getting back there and standing up, and he may well have been better off. That's great to feel, though.
No, we won the ball.
I feel you can protest more than me because you're invested in it. I'm not, but it didn't look like that. It didn't look like a foul to me.
But I always say the officials are in a totally different line from where we are. Totally different line, and I have to say that from our line it looked perfectly fine, and we'll see it here. He's seeing, it's a bump off. He's taken the opportunity to just pull it back, and then the players Phoenix player think he's gone, and then, he's just got to win the ball.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Maybe the trailing leg, you could argue, clipped him, but that's just momentum. He's won the ball fairly and squarely, and he's ended up with a yellow card, which I believe is more due to his mouth than to his feet.
Yeah, he should just walk away now.
Yeah, and he's still standing there. Just, it's only going to go downhill from here.
But isn't it interesting? The Phoenix finally decided to step through the lines and attack with pace, and they've got an opportunity. And
you called for it, and they responded to it. So,
and they could score here. So you just go, well, that's how you do it. And if they score from it, they're leading the game.
Oh, that's.
Ooh.
That is so. I suppose the only reason I'll give them a bit of credit there, old Rainbow, is that they're playing with the wind, and they played into it the whole of the first half, and perhaps he just hasn't quite gauged it. But that looked pretty a big waste of a golden opportunity for them. Yeah.
I think it's just they'll be disappointed with that. The coaches for the Phoenix will be disappointed with that.
But they've certainly started off.
They've started off with a little bit more vig and vimmer, and they're sort of saying we're going to have a go. And I think that's
vig
the way
and vimmer or vim and vigor?
Vim and vigor. Oh, thanks, mate.
Either one.
What happens when you get old, mate?
Tell me about it.
Words confuse
again
me.
There, a nice turn from Van Hattem. Skipping away is Ben Old. Didn't quite that as well back but then just giving it away. Ben Old's got a left foot on him.
He's got to be off there.
And there we go. You turn your back for 5 seconds, and Oscar Van Hattem nips in to score. Ben Old, I thought he was actually going to have a crack on his left foot, but he laid the ball through.
Yep.
And that really sloppy bit of defending there in the middle. They're looking for the offside. It's not going to come now, so you're wasting your time arguing, Old Bean. Look at that. See, I thought here that Old was going to hit one with his left foot, but he plays a lovely through ball.
Certainly not offside. Lobo's kept them onside, so it's a goal. And look, the first 7 minutes, it's what they deserve. They finally have taken, what we're talking about the thing, and Cromie here has tried to play his way through. I don't know why.
I don't know what was going on there. Just poor from Crom. They're very poor control.
Yeah.
Gave the ball away, and a decent finish. Draper did as much as he could there after being exposed.
So, so we're looking at a game now that, Waitakere wouldn't have been expecting to be chasing, and they're going to be chasing this. So we've got a great second half here. It'll be interesting. I think that the bench of Waitakere is probably a little bit stronger than the bench of Wellington Phoenix, because I think that whatever the Wellington Phoenix put on, there's nobody, because they're not got any older players, there's nobody there you think, can break a game down, make a difference. Whereas I think the Waitakere, because they've got a couple of lads on the bench, and Jack Duncan and Leo Vanderhoven and even Alex McLean, they can score goals, they can create momentum. So it'll be interesting as the game goes. But right now, you'd have to say the Phoenix are in control of the game.
Again, though, look at that. That just how many times, and I admire his lack of fear, but how many times has he diced with death, young Alex Paulson there at the back?
No, good on him. Good on him. I mean, it's what he wants to do. It's what they want him to do. So just do it.
They really do look a different side already.
Yeah.
This side. Ben Old getting far more involved in this half already, I think, than he was in the first half.
And now, look, they've got a little bit more enthusiasm about the way they're closing down. So, football is still a mental game of football. It's still mental. It's all about what the players want to do. And now we've got Lobo going one-on-one with Nika.
And Old back doing some defensive duties this time. That's a lovely ball here. It's straight offside there, Van Hatten. But look at that, another loose ball. And a good bit of covering from Crom there. He's got a bit to make up for that mistake that led to their goal. But another loose ball in the midfield there, just giving it away. And they just seem a little bit rattled at the moment, Waitakere, which wasn't them in the first half. They were quite composed.
But once again, you've got a young team and players are going to make mistakes. Cromie makes a mistake. Sammy's made a mistake. They are what they are. So you can't get too worried about it. But both teams are doing it. So you're just going to see what the outcome's going to be. You've
got 35 minutes left, and I feel confident in saying that we're going to see at least one, maybe more goals.
I don't think this is a game that people are going to be able to hang on for that length of time and not concede a goal.
Unlucky there, trying to show his pace again there, Marathi, and get on the outside, but just letting the ball run away from him. Interesting here that you see and I quite enjoy this rule change in terms of you don't have to kick the ball out of your area, but here we go again to Paulson as the main distributor at the back, whether it's short or long, although they're lucky to get away with that one there because he almost gave it away.
But it's interesting. You've said that the goalkeeper's the best ball-playing player in the back third of the field.
That's basically what I'm saying. Well, they seem to be giving it to him the whole time to do it, and he's taken on that responsibility. It's not often you see that. Normally you'd see the keeper knock the ball to a defender or a midfielder or someone to make the next move, but that it's been noticeable that the Phoenix have been letting Paulson be the main distributor.
And now, what you see now is, goals do change games for no other reason. It changes the mentality. They're more comfortable with the ball. The opposition's not sort of attacking those passes, and now they're starting to get a little wiggy. So, it's totally changed. It's gone around 100%. And
the clearances aren't getting the distance that they were getting in the first half as well. No. So it's coming back. Well, this is a very sloppy one, though. And I think Kilcolly might... He's another one. I'll tell you what, you've got a front two here for Waitakere in Grieve and Kilcolly that chase everything.
Yeah, no, they're definitely both of them.
Here's a chance now with Van der Rijssel down the left-hand side. But looks like Dino Boddicker across there to clear.
I think that the combination up front is quality. They could do with a little bit more pace or the ability to run beyond, but they're certainly a good pairing. There's the boy Nicholas Zambrano is also here, and he's a very, very good player, as well as Alexander McLean. So I think Waitakere have got a decent mix up front, but they're going to have to come to 4 now because this is a game that Paul and Malcolm and them won't want to lose.
Where do you see the change coming from for Waitakere? What should we be looking for?
I think we'll see that Connor McCain will come on up front for Angus Kilcolly because I think Greavy's doing a little bit better. And then I think as the game goes, if they're still behind, either Gerard or Sam Burfoot will come off for Leo van der Hoven to have an attacker there. And we might see that Jack Duncan comes on and plays one of the wing-back roles and get told to play further forward.
Well, we shall see if you were correct in your prediction there. Old again winning another challenge. He really has become prominent in this half, brought down by Khan. He's going to have a little word. The referee O'Connell having a word with Khan.
Yeah, it was a bit silly. Ben Old just moved the ball into his left foot, put his right down and just sort of waited for the hit and just fell. Clever play, but not that clever from the defender.
But won the ball well again, yes. Old, and he already. I don't know if it was just me that he seemed not invisible in that first half, but he's certainly taken up a more prominent role in this second half.
That's right.
And Toomey now trying to launch this one into the area.
Oh, that's poor.
That's very poor. But that tends to be a lot of the New Zealand way. I don't mean to say it in a harsh way, but I've watched the Kings. I've watched the Phoenix. Oh, that was a fantastic effort. Fantastic effort there from Rainbow, which would have been a cracking goal. But Draper perhaps will give him the benefit of the doubt. Had that one covered.
I think
just have a look here.
It would be very unusual for Draper to concede from that distance. Yeah, easy cover.
And Grieve again now opening up. Can he get it through? He has to Snell. Looking wide, looking left. I know Snell likes getting into the area, doesn't he? You mentioned he was top scorer last year with 12 goals.
He definitely likes to get into the box.
Yeah, he's one of those midfielders that you love to watch. The old days of Martin Peters, he's the ghost into the box.
Yeah, look, he's turning into that midfielder. He certainly, when he came into the organisation, he was more seen as a holder, but he certainly gets in. And once again, we've got Alex Bolson playing. He's played a decent ball in, and they're protecting, but they've lost this one.
And Old, who's been winning a lot of balls, has now tried that little flick, which I'm not a massive fan of. Either take a touch, don't do this flicky stuff.
Yeah. But it is the way, kids think that they can play a ball between someone's legs and the person's going to get out of the way. That doesn't happen like that.
Now Crom's set Marathi away. Is he going to take him on here? He's got Van Hatten back there that's marking him at the moment.
Well, it's a decent ball.
Yeah, but no one attacking that far post. Another failing of the modern game.
Well, I don't think we produce the 6'4" giants that used to do that anymore. Chris Wood's made a great career out of it.
He's been a fantastic. I know we're talking about National League here compared to the Premier League, but Chris Wood has developed so amazingly.
Amazing.
We're going to see a substitution now for the Wellington Phoenix.
Yeah, it's number 19, George Ott, and he's coming on for number 11, Thomas Rimbold. And it looks to me that he's more of a defensive player. I would imagine we'll go back into a 4-3-3 so that they can hold into a result.
It looks like a reasonably solid individual. It'll add a bit of bulk to that midfield. And as you say, I think Rainbow was playing a lot down the
left.
Down the left, and that Toomey, a lovely little touch again to Old. Here he goes, if he can get it through. No. Again, a poor ball. There was a lot of space there that he could have played Van Hatten through.
Yeah.
Ott's
come on, and
he's come on and won a ball straight away. So it's interesting to see where he plays.
It looks like he's gone up front, but he sort of swapped a left winger. So I think that the Phoenix, and I can't tell yet, but I think they've gone into a 4-3-3. I know Riley Bedoy's gone out there. So now we've got the numbers. No, you're not going to be quick enough. No pen. I think you're dreaming.
Yeah, he's looking.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd get up quickly and just be grateful I I
Yeah.
didn't get a yellow card.
So once again, Greaves made a great run. Kilcolly's come late out of the middle. It's a great ball in. He has towed it through, but you can't.
No,
That's not a foul.
He's just fallen over
Yeah,
himself.
he's trying to go around the other way, and he's just fallen. So, you know. Yeah, so it's really interesting. We've decided that Alex Paulson is the best ball player that we got in the back third of the field for the Phoenix. I think if I'm a player and a centre back, I'm wondering what the hell do I have to do to be the...
But then again, that's about the fourth time in this half that the Paulson-Rodwell duo have ended up faffing about and giving the ball away.
Well, there's not enough width. So Paulson's carrying the ball forward, and there's not enough width from Rodwell to play a ball. So it's a very straight ball, which we all forward, and we all know a straight ball forward is always the same.
Oh, that looked like it may have been curling towards the bottom right-hand corner there from Sam Burfoot.
It was a great little movement, little interplay in the box, and look, the Phoenix are going to defend really hard for the next 22 minutes because it's unusual for them to hold a lead in this competition. 3 wins last year out of 18 games. So look, I think it's going to be great for their development to hang on there and fight for every point and see if they can get a win.
I thought they sneaked 4 wins, but maybe I'm
You
mistaken.
could be right. I can't really remember.
But hey, it was good, mate.
COVID's done us all in the head. No one can remember anything.
Oh, just a lovely little flick there. Grieve running in front of the near post, trying to get that very delicate of flicks on there. Just got a bit too much on it.
I think we're going to see 2 subs from Waitakere.
Yep.
Obviously, the coaches have decided with 25 to go, they've got to make some changes to cause issues. And as I said,
Leon van den Hoven looks like he's coming on, as does Jack Duncan.
Right.
And you can tell me who they're going to replace.
Yep. We'll know as soon as they
Put those numbers up.
put those numbers up.
Here we go. Rodwell and Paulson playing their own game again.
It's because they want to play into this pocket in front. And Sammy got it wrong there that time. But it's really hard to do. And it's actually, from a football sense, it's actually...
Here, Grieve again. Is he going to have a crack? He's going to have a crack. He's not going to pass this, is he?
He's not going to pass it.
Oh, actually, it ended up being a pass there for Schnell.
Oh,
And
Gerard's
Garriga having a crack as well. It's a game of pinball in there. Burfoot now puts his foot on the ball, knocks it wide for Murata.
There's enough numbers in there, so...
Now, if I'm
Oof,
Lobo
good
down
tackle.
here, I would have been looking to attack that far post. He seemed to be a little bit back on his heel. Oh,
That's a
that Ott getting taken down.
Certainly wasn't last man, but yeah, look, that's...
Deserving of a booking, I'd say. But to be honest, if I'm Ott, I reckon I can ride that challenge and keep going. I mean, he's got the ball past him. It seemed to be that he almost, I don't know how badly he's hurt, he'd probably come off with a broken leg.
Yeah.
But there was an opportunity there to just ride the challenge and play the advantage. And it just seemed to go down. He's obviously a bit sore, but you could have run it off just in that
That's right.
space of time.
So Waitakere make a sub. Alex Kilcolly's come off, and Angus Kilcolly's come off, and Alex Connor McLean's gone on for him, and Gerard's come off in the midfield for Leo van der Hoven, and Regont Marati's come on for Jack Duncan. So the coaches of Waitakere decided they're going all 3 subs at once, and they're going for it. And Chris Nike has come off, and Henry Hamilton's come on. And look, I'm a big fan of Henry Hamilton. I think he's one of the best young midfielders we've got running around at that age group. He's quick, he's tough, he can pass, and when he goes into his tackles, he's got that great midfield ability to drop his hips and go through the tackle zone and come out the other side. So I think that's a really good move for Paul Temple as his team trying to win the game.
Yeah, very much so. Well, you were talking about him to me at half time, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. But I tell you what, you've seen here Toomey moving a little more into the middle of the park in this second half. And again, like him and Old have been so much more involved and creating more. Toomey played more out on the right in that first half, but he seems to have drifted in a more central position in the second half. And Phoenix are looking the better side at the moment, I've got to say.
But they can't, yeah. They've got to be careful that they continue to clear their lines and make it an opportunity to win the game. So obviously the Waitakere coaches have decided these are the 3 players they want to put on to see if they can win the game. And at the moment it's about a draw in the game. There you go, Henry Hamilton trying to disrupt, and that's where he's very different.
And that's that Connor McLean that you were saying has got an eye for goal.
He's a little bit more direct than probably was on previously, and he will shoot at any time. He does score goals, but he's probably not as agile or as accurate with the stuff he does as Angus, but he's probably more goal-driven of what he wants to achieve. Don't tell me we're going to start seeing the slow play come.
Barefoot, knocking it wide, dancing around Connor McLean, and knocking it back out. Oh dear.
Just fell over the ball. That happens.
It could be an expensive one. Old again. Can he find the pass this time?
You know, you'd have to say on the second half that the Phoenix well deserved their lead in the game. You know, it was 1-1 at half time, and it's an own goal. But what we're seeing in the second half is the Phoenix are becoming a stronger side, which is good to see. You know, they fixed a lot of the issues they were having in the first half, and now they've got a little bit of confidence, and they think they can win a game, which is great.
It looks like the wind might have even changed direction or died down a little bit for them. But I think the main difference is the injection of Toomey in that midfield and Old, but just their tempo and aggression. They seem to be more up for it, and they're winning more of those 50-50 challenges, which they weren't in that first half. Oh, he left his foot in there, and that could be...
No, he'd be fine. It's not a red card offence, but he did leave his foot in there, and you know, now we're seeing the younger players on Waitakere doing what the Phoenix players were in the first half, and you know, making silly errors which just shouldn't be there.
Yeah, but you could quite easily get booked for that, and I think he's already picked up a card.
Well, he's picked up a card,
yeah, so I think perhaps the referee's looking at it and take a bit of leniency there.
I'm saying it's not really a red.
No. Oh, looking for Grieve again with that long ball. And there definitely seems to be a slight change in the wind. Lobo getting back well and intercepting that. Can he set someone away right down the middle? Stain Schnell, it looks like, that was waiting for it. Now he's got it. Surely you've got to play it to him. It finally gets there about an hour late. But anyway, it's the thought that counts, Chris. It's the thought that counts.
It is the thought that counts.
It's easy from up here, isn't it?
It's very easy from up here. We can see everything and we know everything, and we're brilliant.
I've never made a mistake up here,
no.
I can tell you that, in terms of a pass. Interesting there, Bidwar running on. Has he got a left foot? Oh, he's knocked it wide now. Toomey.
Hit it. No, they're trying to walk it in again. He's got to hit it. You've got to hit it, kid. There you go. Goal. Yeah.
What a lovely shot and a very good save from Nick Draper. That's Van Rysel there. Letting one fly. But I've been impressed. I'd say that he's just like a will-o'-the-wisp, that Toomey. There's not much to him. But I've been impressed with him in this half.
Yeah, very much so. You'd have to say in the first half, not too many of the Wellington Phoenix lads really tried to impact themselves on the game. And in the second half they have, and they're getting the reward for it. And the Toomey is, you know, he's active, he's moving, and he's now winning challenges, which none of them were doing in the first half.
I see they can do something with his corner. The wind picking up again now. Again, do you know, and this is a frustrating thing for me. And you see it in the Premier League week in, week out. No one goes into that big hole at the back of the area from corners. No one makes a run into there at all. And the amount of times it either goes deep or gets flicked on and there's no one there drives me insane.
Well, it drives a lot of coaches insane, but then the coaches have got to set it up so that the player who's going to do that, they know he's going to do that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing as well, and I'll be interested on your thoughts here. The way that every time there's a corner, the people will get 10, 11, well, including the keeper, but another 10 players in the area. Now, for me, you've got no one as an outlet. If you clear the ball, it's just going to keep coming back in. If you can't defend with 8 in there, you're not going to defend with 10.
Well, it depends. There's a combination now. Everybody tends to go zonal and man marking in corners in particular. And if you're gonna man mark, you got to man mark everybody, because if there's one free, he's the one going to attack the ball. So you generally have to, as a defending team, have to replicate what the opposition's doing. But yeah, you're quite right. If you're going to go 2 lines of zonal, then you don't need more than you don't have to worry about the runners, because you're all zonal and you're picking up the holes. But it would be fair to say that I can't remember the last time I saw a full set of zonal, defenders in a set piece.
Here we go, Paulson again trying to set it up, but that was I think, to be fair to Paulson, I think that he was let down by Hillis there, to be honest. Oh, quick feet from Old.
Once again, trying to play through the middle of someone's legs.
Burford calling for it.
Nah, that's what Henry Hamilton's built to do. Form that block in front of it, attack every ball that goes forward. So he's going to do what the Waitakere midfielders were doing in the first half, which was try to disrupt any pass going forward. So now Waitakere are going to have to start playing around them instead of trying to go through them like they are.
Well, they've got Duncan here bursting through, it looked like, on the right-hand side, but then had to check his run. That's a good cross. Plenty of has he got time? And Lobo.
Another block.
Another block there. Hits it with his, smacked it with his left. It just wouldn't sit down, would it? I mean, that's
no.
The problem for Connor McLean. It just wouldn't sit down for him.
Now they got the advantage here. Oh, we've seen some poor, tired legs. And remember, we talked about a pre-season game, and that's what we're starting to see now. Legs are going, players' touch is going, some of the passing's just bang average.
And the weather, it's been warm, and the wind out there, and the wind takes it out of you as well.
Yeah. And so,
through the back of him there.
Yep.
Yeah, he suddenly decided that there was no advantage. Oh, keep quiet, Dane. The referee's pen is itching to do a bit more writing. It looks like they're trying. They don't look like they're panicking yet, Waitakere.
No, I don't think they will.
Build.
They don't think they will. They've had a lot more experience in the competition, even though they're young. They're just as young as the opposition in many cases. They've had a lot more experience, so they shouldn't panic. And you know what? You lose the game, you lose the game. So you might as well give it a go. And but they'll be kind of kicking themselves, I would imagine, because of the level of dominance they had in the first half. To still find yourself. Ooh, that's a good shot off the run. But, yeah, still find yourself behind through 2 basically defensive errors, and poor ones at that. Yeah, he's come back here, and, there's been a shot. It just wouldn't sit down, and Lobo comes in and hits it, and, there's just bodies in the way. But really, Nathan's a young player. That should have just gone in the top corner. Don't do anything else than that. So now we've got number 3, Harry Bark, coming on. He looks like he's going to go play
Oscar Van Hatten.
He'll be playing left back, and and Harry's a bigger lad than a lot of the other lads out there, so he's gone to left back. So maybe they're looking to.
They've pushed Ott up front with Bidouar, who's chasing through there, but comfortable for Bodega at the back.
So now what we've got here is the Phoenix ball speed's picked up, which is what we talked about in the first half. And it would be fair to say Waitake's ball speed slowed down, weirdly. It
has.
It's just a mentality, It's the mentality of football. When you think you're the better team, you're more positive. Everything seems to be clean and tidy. And when you're not the better team, it becomes a little bit different. They could easily get a third here, the Phoenix.
Yeah, very easily. Very easy, because Waitakere are going to naturally start pressing more and get more urgent about it, and the opportunity will be there for them to be exposed at the back. Yeah,
and that's the nature of football, and they're going to try and see if they can get opportunities. And Ben Old's a very clever player with the ball at his feet. He's fallen over it there.
The curse of the commentator.
That's not what I was trying to say.
It's Chris's fault, Mr. Old. It was his fault. But I think that, Old and Toomey are causing some problems. There's Toomey again coming back and winning it. And he seems to be really enjoying himself, showing all the tricks. I didn't really see too much of him in that first half, but he really has been a standout for me in the second half.
Well, I think the change of formation where they went to a 4-2-4 has basically meant that he's now aggressively defending in front. With him and Henry Hamilton, that's their chief role now, to be a destructive block in front of a back four. And a back four that's been exposed quite a bit. But I've only conceded one goal, so must be doing something right. And now we've got Toomey on the ground.
Looks like he might have a slight knock. Or is it a calf that's gone? Is it just a knock? Or
it'll be a knock. He put his foot in there trying to achieve something, and he fouled. And quite often you get that knock on your calf as the player in front's falling. His feet flick up and they whack you into the back of the calf. And I think that's all that's happened.
Here we go, another sign of the modern game. Players coming over for a drink every 3 seconds. Getting a bit of instruction.
That's the instruction they're coming for, Miles, not the drink.
Oh, I don't know. Every 5 minutes of training, they're running off wanting another drink. I remember playing 10 hours at school, and I can't even remember having a drink once.
Is that when you were playing in your bare feet in the mud and the snow?
That's the one, mate.
So Toomey's now off. So basically the Phoenix are currently playing with 10 players as the set piece is now ready to be delivered by Sam Burfoot.
Here we go. This is going to be an interesting here. It's sort of a grenade exploding as they all separate. And someone finally went to the far post and it didn't quite get to it. And it has. What a great effort.
Yeah, as we
Dino
said.
Boddicker there peeled to the far post, didn't quite get it. So I'm going to give him a commendation for that, for listening to me.
Definitely. And Alex Paulson once again makes a great save. And
this is a great bit of skill here for a big boy to get it on target.
Well, definitely. But Dino was part of the under-23 Olympic qualifying group that went to the islands, and then he did his knee. So he's obviously got a good pedigree, and he's a decent player. Oh, well, Alex Paulson's done really well with the punch there.
Yeah, sometimes he only gets a bit on there, but it's always been enough so far in this game. He's done it about 3 or 4 times.
It was enough, you know.
Yeah, Crom now played it the way he's facing, which is a very sensible thing.
A lot of runs.
Rodwell again cleaning up at the back. You don't want to be getting caught in possession.
Not when you're outnumbered like you are right now.
Jack Duncan down here on the left. Oh, that's a lovely little turn there from Snell. Grieve couldn't quite get the shot away.
Good shot. That was well set up. That's what Waitakere have to do more in the second half. They have to start moving the ball very quickly around the edge of the 18-yard box because it becomes very difficult for the defenders, as we see here. Greaves now taking the touch, and Sam Burfoot's in there, and he's struck it. He's missed goal, but if he hits target, it's probably in. Alex Paulson, because he's having to move as the ball's moving. Quite often you're not quite in the pocket you need to be effective. And
as you say, a lovely turn from Ott. He's brought a physical presence.
Yeah,
to this Phoenix side.
And I think they had to, because they were getting, as you said in the first half, they were getting bullied. Crom and Sammy Khan here were bullying them, and they're not bullying them now. And they're also getting caught behind them. And if I remember right, the big boy come out of Hamilton Wanderers, and he was in their National Youth League team when they won it. And he was a very, very good player. So it's clear the Phoenix have decided to bring him in. And, he's an effective striker. Does he score as many goals? But, you don't know. But the reality is he's just such a presence that defenders have to deal with it.
I think it's a good thing for them to have up here at the moment, because he can hold the ball up, he can keep the Waitakere defence honest, and he's got the likes of Toomey and Old coming in behind him. Although now they seem to be more on the back foot.
They're holding on. They're holding on for a win, mate, and so they should.
The amount of time I've seen sides try and do that and then get pounded instead of doing what they've been doing that got them into the lead. But anyway, it's a psychological thing. Happens a lot. Here we go. It's a big chance. Oh, Lobo just really let that one go. Grieve, chest there. No, they're calling for a handball, but...
Yeah, we're going to be a handball there.
Oh. A very strong challenge there from both players, actually, to be fair to them. Van den Hoven winning out on that one. And here we go again. Now, this is danger here.
3v3.
3-on-3. If he can play this ball through. Oh, he's too slow with the progression. You've got to be more... It's almost like watching England play, how slow that ball was moving forward, the transition.
But that's the opportunity to put the game away. See, that's what we were saying before. They had the numbers, they had the advantage, and they could have gone and got the third goal
It's
and won the
almost
game.
It's almost like he lacked the confidence to do or to make a
Yeah.
mistake. So he thought he'd just settle down for a bit. Whereas
So-
here, look at this, Greaves through, cuts inside, is surely going to get a shot away. No, he's laid it off for Snell.
Ooh. They did what the Phoenix were doing in the first half, not prepared to pull the trigger.
I think, to be fair to Greaves, he had a defender in front of him, but another bit of an injury at the back here for the Wellington Phoenix. 2-1, the score to the Wellington Phoenix, the away side, perhaps surprisingly in the lead, especially after the first half. Alex Greaves putting Waitakere ahead in the 34th minute, an own goal by Sammy Khan equalising for the Phoenix, and then in the 8th minute of the second half, Oscar Van Hatten ending up on the end of what was really a bit of a mistake at the back by Crom, give the ball away, ended up at the feet of Van Hatten, and a deflection off of a desperate Nick Draper ended up in the back of the net. 2-1 to the Wellington Phoenix. And to be on the performance in the second half, they probably, you couldn't argue about them being in the lead, but the game is very much there for the taking.
Very much so. In the first half, you'd have to think a draw was very fortunate to Wellington Phoenix, but in the second half, it's 1-0 to the Wellington Phoenix, and it's probably fair on the amount of chances both teams have had. So, I think that the game's going to really be decided on the Sammy Khan own goal down here, which has really changed the impact. And good on Phoenix, and go forward and win the game if they're good enough over the next sort of 7 to 10 minutes. But that's how games swing on these decisions.
I can sense a director of football Waitakere frustration coming through there.
Oh, not
Chris.
really. Look, I love football in the country, and I'm really excited to see what the young Phoenix lads can do. And I'm really pleased to see that in the second half they've listened to their coach's instructions, and look, there we go. Another ball's gone forward. It's gone to feet. Now they're playing through the lines, and now they're becoming more effective. Whereas in the first half, it just wasn't there at all.
I've liked the look of this art, I've got to say, since he came on. I thought that they were going to sort of use him more in the midfield as a bustling big presence, but he's holding the ball up well for them there now, and
he's a good player, yeah.
and gives them the opportunity to maybe sit back a little bit.
He's a good player. He's always been a good player.
Yeah, time's starting to run out, like you said, for Waitakere. They're going to have to. They made all their 3 changes quickly to throw the last throw of the dice. Ball holding up well there for Greaves. They've only got 2 players in there, or maybe 3, one on the edge of the area. You want to see more numbers.
Well, they're going to have to get back to what they were doing before, which was moving the ball very quickly amongst each other. Better than that, though. And have a go.
Yeah, that made it almost impossible for Lobo to bring that under control, and Toomey's got back there. Oh, again, the presence.
He's not shy to bang bodies and to be effective there. So good on him. It's what they've needed. But he's probably not in the same technical range as a lot of the other players on the park, but he brings something different.
Exactly, and that's what the game's all about. There's different style of players,
That's right.
and they've got a different job. And to be honest, you don't want a fancy Dan up there at the moment. You want someone who's big and physical and not afraid of a challenge and can hold the ball up for his teammates.
And any ball that comes forward, it's not going to come flying back. And I think that's key. They just don't want the ball flying back. They want them to hold it up there and be effective.
Exactly, and chew the clock up.
That's right.
Oh, that's a lovely through ball there from Burfoot. Snell having a crack, but straight at
the keeper.
Straight at Paulson, who's looked strong all day. In fact, both keepers have. You can't put the goals down to either of the keepers, but you can to the defence. I didn't quite tried a little fancy flick there to the side there, Ott, which didn't quite come off. Burfoot now getting more and more involved, trying to drive his side forward. That's a lovely ball. Switch out wide to Duncan. Back in again, Bodega, they're just playing it. You don't want to be playing it across the back too much, and I appreciate you trying to move them around a bit.
The time is running out, so yeah.
You need a bit more urgency in terms of it. I'm interested to see this Con McLean if he can get a chance. Nice whipped in cross there from Lobo, but well cleared by Rodwell.
So it's actually these sorts of things, games like this, they start to feed into the hands of the team defending because they drop deeper and deeper. And as you said, team drops deeper and deeper, and if they can get the defending right, they'll win the game. But you're also at risk of unable to actually really go and win the game on your own. But with 3 minutes of normal time plus probably 3 of extra time, you'd have to say that the Phoenix are going to win this game.
It does look like that at the
Yeah,
moment, but
yeah.
maybe you've done the kiss of death. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the Phoenix broke away and got one more as Waitakere get more desperate to push forward.
But the Phoenix have done enough to win the game. Would they say that they were the better team today? Who knows? But the reality is, you've got to win games by scoring goals. And unfortunately today, Waitakere just haven't been able to do it. And I've been in these situations lots of times, and your chances of winning this game now are about 5%.
Oh, here we go. That's an interception there from Crom. Strong in the challenge again. But there's your mate Hamilton.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Getting in there and doing the business. And that was vital because they were looking dangerous there on the break, Waitakere.
Yeah.
Bidouar, he's had a sort of, I haven't quite known what to make of him yet. I don't think I've seen him at his best.
Look, he comes out of Tauranga. He's made the commitment to go to Wellington Phoenix to see if he can become a professional footballer. And it comes down to the things, the players that are prepared to do it and make it happen, and compared to others that technically could be seen as better footballers or whatever, And there you go. Hamilton always made the error, but once again, quite destructive in his play.
You're very keen on him. Have you had a chat to him about coming here?
Oh, I wouldn't take him out of a professional environment. That would just be...
No, fair enough.
He's in a professional environment trying to become a professional footballer. If he was available, I'd certainly be having a look at him. He's one of the ones that I think's got a huge future for the role he plays.
He's got a little look about Michael McGlinchey about him in terms of just his stature. Here we go. Oh, you've got to knock it wide. Here we go. And now we'll see what Bidouar can do. Oh, lovely return ball. And there you go.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Give it a go. He's ran at them, he's had a go, and he scored the goal.
And there we go. Ben Old picking up the third for the Phoenix. And I do believe I said that I wouldn't be surprised if they scored a third, and there we saw it.
Yeah.
But a lovely return ball from Bidouar there. I thought he might have actually taken it on and had a shot, but laid it in the path. A little bit lucky here, but you're putting yourself in there, and when the ball landed, he took his chance straight away.
Touch and just stuck it in. And good on them. They're confident. They've done what they've needed to do. They've scored the goals. Will they be pleased how they played? I would doubt that Paul Temple will be pleased. I know that Paul Hobson won't be pleased for Waitakere after what's happened. And as I said, a couple of minutes ago, they were always going to win this game once we sort of rolled on to the team of Waitakere having to chase the ball.
Yeah, I think Waitakere will be disappointed in their second half performance. Oh, dearie me, Grieve again, nearly making something out of nothing down on that right-hand side. And it looks like 4 minutes of
extra time.
Added time, injury time, as we used to call it in the old days.
Yeah, even to this day, Miles, I'm never sure. That's always 1 minute at half-time and 3 or 4 in the second half, and you just go, I wonder where all this comes from,
I know. And as a fan, when it's your team behind, you want to see the biggest number.
That's right.
And it's always 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And you think, well, wait a minute, the ball's held up for 7 minutes while that guy was down. And it doesn't seem to come. It can be the longest time, but I think really it's just a matter of playing it out time now. I can't see Waitakere scoring twice in this in this time. But and Adam Hillis picking up a yellow card.
I don't know what they complain about. It was definitely a yellow card.
I think maybe if you complain a little bit, you can slow the game down, waste another 10 seconds.
Yeah, maybe, but...
or maybe pick up another yellow card and sit the rest of the game out. Yeah, they're just...
Yep, they're doing the right thing to win the game. And
exactly.
Look, what I'm most impressed with the Phoenix is they obviously listen to the coaches at halftime. They're prepared to play through the line far more in the second half, and they're going to get definitely going to get a result.
Lober going to have another crack? Nope, wide. Well, who do you think? Like, if we go through both sides, Chris, at the end of this game now, it looks the Phoenix are going to win it. For Waitakere, who's impressed you today? Who do you think, that they can, despite the defeat, they can hold their
I
head
think,
up high?
yeah, I think you'd have to say Greaves has done really, really well. Dane Schnell's done well, and I thought Gerard did really well in the midfield. I think the back three have not helped themselves today. There are 2 errors that shouldn't have occurred and done that. But really and truly losing to the Wellington Phoenix, you'd have to say that all of them were not to the level you'd expect.
And for the Phoenix, the first half was a bit of a mishmash on it, but this second half I think has been quite impressive from them.
Well, I think that the difference was it started to turn when Paul Temple made the tactical change to go 4-2-4. Up to that stage, Waitakere were nicking all the balls in the midfield and counter-attacking, so you'd have to take your hat off to the coach. And, and what it's caused is there's these young lads for Wellington, you call it cheating, but it's not really cheating. They sit in a zone and they wait for their team to win the ball. And in the first half, they weren't winning the ball. In the second half, they were. But I'd have to say that Henry Hamilton coming on has done a good job. Toomey's done a really good job. And but apart from that, you'd have to say that, they've just done what they needed to do. I don't think there was any real standout, apart from probably Ben Old, who, as the game's gone on, has started to turn and twist and create chances.
He looks like he's cramping up as well now. But I think Toomey and Old, for me, in that second half have been outstanding in terms of the way that they've lifted the tempo and injected themselves in the game. And you see Toomey now, he was up there attacking before, now he's in a more defensive role. Old's been good. And I've been impressed by Ott as well since he's come on. I think that he's done the job that they needed him to do.
Very much
giving them the outlet.
Very much so. And look, I think that as we said at the beginning of the game, it's finished up as a bit of a pre-season game, which is not what anyone wants. And a team who takes the chances has managed to win the game. And, you'd have to say positively that I think the changes, as I said, that Paul and the structural change they made was the right call. And they've got away with it. And to be fair, there's been some fairly poor finishing by both teams, really.
Yes, it has been a little bit scrappy. It's never the easiest on a surface like this.
No.
To be honest, to be fair to them. Could there be another chance here for Old? He could do anything he wants here. Yes, here we go. What a cracking finish to the game. And that's an exclamation point. Scoring 4 1 week, conceding 4 the next. Not what Waitakere wanted, but a fantastic win for a young Wellington Phoenix side. And a real exclamation point on a great second half performance for me from Ben Old.
Yeah, look, I think that Ben, as we just said previously, he's picked the ball up. He's now running. Look at the difference when they're actually trying to run and score the goal, which is what we were talking about in the first half. And you said I was critical of them. They're now trying to score goals, and they're scoring goals. It's the unique thing about football. If you try to score goals, you score goals. If you try to keep possession, you keep possession. So to me, the Wellington Phoenix, but the changes they made going to 4-2-4, the ability to counter and run harder and have a go, they've scored 3 goals in the second half and deservedly won the game on goal scored.
You realise as a Wellington boy, I'm reasonably happiest of the 2 of us sitting here in the commentary box at the moment, Mr. Milicic, but we won't let it ruin our relationship.
Well, as I said before, I just want to see football, and when you see young players that are playing at the Wellington Phoenix, trying to achieve and play National League football, and they've won the game, you think good, and then Waitakere are a young side, and you want to see it, and so the future's bright as long as there's a league for these boys to play.
Well, there we go, the final score here at Seddon Fields in the ISPS Handa Men's Premiership Round 2 game. Waitakere United 1, Wellington Phoenix Reserves 4. Alex Grieve putting Waitakere ahead in the first half. An own goal from Sami Khan equalising for the Phoenix. A great goal, very unfortunate. 8 minutes into the second half, Oscar Van Hatten, from a mistake at the back by Mr. Krom, gave the Phoenix the lead, and then a late brace from Ben Old, wrapping things up. What I would say is a big upset result here from Seddon Fields. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much indeed, Chris Milicic, and I'm sure you'll be going into the sheds and giving them a lecture as the director of football for this magnificent football club.
Definitely not, because you never go and talk to your teams or anybody after a game.